beasts within the portal
in
my office, and it caused your equipment not to work.
The malevolent being that is in charge of governing the black magic that operates the technology in your home, yeah, that is a real thing. Zero doesn't have internet. He has an interdimensional portal that leads to some sort of hell realm, and then they forward all of his packets.
It's powered by Mountain Dew, if you get that reference.
I thought it would be powered by Power Thirst. Where's your brand loyalty? Jesus.
Church of Chonkwij podcast brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends and
Mountain Dew, gamer fuel.
Is Mountain Dew even made anymore?
Yes.
It's still a drink?
I think, yes.
Yeah, it's still one of the major offerings from Pepsi.
But not on Tuesdays.
Major?
Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Which is more major, Mountain Dew or Sprite? Who won?
It's not. They're different. The argument would be 7-Up or Sierra Mist, which I never really understood that because they're both Pepsi products, but they're both a lemon lime soda. I never understood why Pepsi had two lemon lime soda brands.
I have to say, Sierra Mist is absolutely fucking awful.
I just never understood why the multiple brands.
Oh. Okay,
my brand.
My brand.
Hey Doc, you want to know something fun?
I do, please.
I used to work at a calendar factory, but I got fired for taking a couple days off.
Oh, easy now.
Must have been in February.
I'm sorry that I gave you shit for not using Bunhub. Because I see you posting in there now.
It's too late.
Oh, that's great. Alright, give me 1 second here. By the way, we're already going. Hello everybody, welcome to Church of Chonkwij podcast. My name is Squiddy Smalls. I'm joined by some people. Y'all know who you are.
Sometimes.
I mean, today's Monday, right?
Unfortunately.
Is it? Yeah, it totally is, yeah.
Oh, sweet, I got my Bane of the Stricken. God. Yeah. So there hasn't been much news this week.
Oh, I didn't do my thing. It's been a great week for Diablo.
It has been a great week.
I'm not sure if either of you are... There he is! Alright, now we're talking.
I would stream mine, but you're just gonna see lots of death.
I mean, some people are interested in that. It might raise them up.
Oh, that's right. That is why, that's why there are rect threads. But we'll watch Omega playing... T16? Yeah, T16 Necro, because now you got your 6-piece. Do you have all your jewelry now?
Yeah, my build is done.
I'm
just actually on the quest to get good gear.
GR90 feels like Torment 10.
Yeah. Yeah, already, like, this GR90 is not, super difficult.
So we could start off with that. Yes, it has been the new season for Diablo 3 has started. What's the gimmick this season?
So there's this new consumable, kind of like a Ram-Lama-Ding-Dong, that you can apply to an item. And it's called, like an angelic essence or something like that. I just showed it to Zero.
Angelic Crucible.
There you go. And it creates a sanctified item, which basically what that does is it turns the item into a primal ancient. So max roll on ancient level stats. And then on top of that, it comes with a special bonus affix that are similar, think conceptually, to the Ethereal season. It's similar to that, how anytime you sanctify it, you can get one of 3 different affixes depending on your class. And it looks like this. So these are my sanctified bracers. Oh no! These are my sanctified bracers, and I was lucky, and I got the right affix that I needed, and so my build kind of kicks ass. Yeah, I've pushed it up past 100 already.
God, I remember Diablo.
So, yeah, new season seems fun. They still have the whatever the where's somebody who actually knows what this game is? The skull things, screaming skull, stone rock things from last season. Those are still around, so you can still do those arena mode fights, which are kind of neat.
They're capped at 125, right?
Yes, that was discussed today. That was mentioned today. So, but that's pretty cool mechanic. So it gives you a nice, quick boost to your gear, and the sanctified item can be given a Caldazon to spare as well. So it's nice, more super OP, and how Diablo 3 is nowadays. It's a blast.
That is excellent.
Yeah, I'm currently playing a Necromancer with using the Army of the Dead build. So I got a crew of 7 skeletons and then 10.
You just did 39.9. You just did 39.9 trillion damage on a crit, by the way.
Yeah. So I got 17 minions, 10 ghosts that I've reincarnated from the slain corpses of my enemies, and then 7 skelly bros, and they beat up on shit. And every once in a while, I can do that Land of the Dead that you just saw, and it fucking nukes pretty much everything on that part of the screen.
Good times. Diablo 3 out now for Xbox and PC.
Barbarian.
You are running a barbarian.
A very, very squishy barbarian right now, actually.
You did you name your barbarian?
Don't go up there. Don't go up there. Don't go up there.
Thickums.
Thickums.
Steakums, only thicker.
Every barbarian / whatever big strong tank build I ever make, the name has something to do with meat. So I got fridge large meats, big McLarge meat, double meat, double meat gum. That's the statement of the great. God damn it. So I can't be mint. It needs to be something that is meat related. I'll think of it later. Oh. Leetness is listening to this right now and screaming out a suggestion, and he's very frustrated, I'm sure. Hi, Leetness.
He's screaming out a suggestion while sitting in his office at work, and everybody around him is just looking at him going, "What?"
They don't look anymore. They just they try to ignore it because they're fucking frightened of him.
As they should be. He's a terrifying beast.
He is. It's true. Wait, Omega, can you only wear one sanctified thing at a time? I missed that.
I think so. Otherwise, it'd be way too OP. Yeah, I believe so. Let me get off my salvage button while I'm hovering over this. Yeah, so you can take a good look at it now. The enemies within 50 yards, that's the normal Bonds of Selena affix. The Army of the Dead deals 100% increased damage is the sanctified affix. And then I dropped Caldazon's Despair on there. And
sanctified.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but until I get, something that I feel like a duplicate of something that I feel like spending some essences on, it's kicking ass for now. So nothing on my build is optimized. I mean, I've even got a few ancients, but they're not necessarily perfect or exactly the stats that you want and the rolls that I want and shit. So, if I were to actually try this season beyond fucking around with it for a week, Then, oh look, Zero got Primal. Oh yeah, this is his first 70.
That's my sanctified.
Oh, it's a sanctified.
And I was able to get the right sanctified.
Oh fuck yeah, you got your whirlwind.
Yep.
Oh, hey, you got Allres on there too. Yeah, roll that life regen. Bro, Cephas, that's a good roll.
That's like a fucking great goddamn roll.
Turn that life regen into CDR.
Does Red Waste need cooldown?
To pop Wrath of the Berserker, yeah.
Okay, yeah, there you go. They get cooldown reduction on there.
Good shit. Always nice to have Allres as a barb. Because, yeah.
Death breath.
You fucking OD on armor as a strength class, and you have no Allres. I always walk that line. I remember when I played this game. Anyway, so yeah, it was a great week for Diablo 3 coming out. It was also a slightly confusing week because something that we've covered many times before is the remake of Dwarf Fortress.
Oh, there's news about that.
Yeah, so the Dwarf Fortress Steam release is, quote, coming sooner than you might think, according to the publisher. And that was a quote that was put out this week in ostensible anticipation for something that's coming the first week in September. Oh, the PAX Expo is starting September 2nd. It's running from September 2nd to September 5th. So it's theorized that we're going to hear more about Dwarf Fortress when PAX is going on. But yeah, this is... Remember about... It was later than this time last year when we heard the last news about Dwarf Fortress, and the guy did something just to remind people that he was working on it. And we thought it was odd that he would do that, but no release or anything. This time it looks like he's gearing up for a release. But yeah, I grabbed this because we have all... Or Omega and I guess, have been enthusiastic to try the remake of Dwarf Fortress, which will have graphics instead of ASCII graphics.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, I love
on Steam.
I love roguelikes, but man, I just cannot get behind ASCII graphics. I just can't do it.
Yeah, not for any length of time at any rate. I also, the novelty wears off quickly.
The last time I played a game with ASCII graphics was middle school, before cell phones, and you could have games on your TI-83 calculator. There was like a whole underground market of TI-83 games, and
absolutely there was.
Kind of amazing how many great games there were on that. So I had a few like dungeon crawlers for the TI-83 that were ASCII graphics, and I would play those in class.
I remember I had a plethora of games that traded around. The way the market worked in my school was that there was usually one person who was responsible for sharing their copy of whatever, and they would just give it to you. You'd meet up at lunch or some shit like that. And the reason that they did that was because, in addition to the underground TI-83 plus graphing calculator game market, there was an underground high scores system. So whoever got top high score either gave that copy back to the original person who was passing it around, or they became the new person who passed it around. And that it was a stupid thing that was fun at the time. But yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have anything dumb like that at my school.
Yeah. I'll say it was pretty dumb, but I had the high score at my entire school for Tetris. I was the fucking king of Tetris, and I was super proud of that when I was in 9th grade.
That's hilarious. God,
kids are so fucking stupid.
The best trick was when I taught everybody in my friend group that was the way it worked. All you needed was just a cable, and you got a game from someone, and then all of your friends had it, and you just spread it out, and all of your friends were your backup insurance copy if your data ever got wiped. The best was whenever you took a test, the teachers would always make you wipe the data off your calculator so that you couldn't have like notes and cheating and stuff like that on there. But like teachers didn't know that you could just archive a snapshot of
Right.
all the data, and that archive doesn't get wiped out. It's protected during the boot wipe. So like it was a great trick, and you keep all your games on there. There are some foul games. One was basically just like buying and selling drugs. It was like an RPG about going from city to city and buying drugs in one city and selling them in another where they were more expensive.
Yeah, Drug Wars.
Yeah, Drug Wars, exactly. That was a blast. God, there were so many. Drug Wars is the one that stands out.
I vaguely remember something like that. I very obviously I remember Tetris very vividly. I remember Asteroids was another one that had like really good graphics. Asteroids. And shit, what the hell else did I play? There was a lot of stuff on there. I was gonna say, yeah, with regards to the snapshotting, that I think was the drive behind people getting TI-83 plus Silver Edition in my school, because that thing had like double the memory. So you could have multiple backups for an extensive game library, or you could have one backup for just like a shit ton of games. Man, yeah, I never had a handheld gaming system. I never had a Nintendo whatever, but I had a bunch of graphing calculators.
I mean, I had a Game Boy, and I had Game Boys throughout all the generations of Game Boys up until the DS. I never got a DS. Stopped playing with Game Boys then. At that point, cell phone, like mobile phones, touchscreen phones were perfectly capable of doing whatever gaming I needed in a mobile platform. But you couldn't play Game Boy in math class.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. But I digress. That was the last time I ever played a game with the ASCII graphics, and I am excited to see what an official graphics pack, not one that was just made by some dudes who admittedly did a great job with the ones that they've made, but like an official made by the developer graphics pack. I'm excited. It should be cool.
I'm also looking forward to this, and I really hope. I feel like I brought this up years ago when this was announced. 2019, believe it or not, was when this was announced. So that was years ago. I think I brought this up then, but the best thing that he could do is give modders an API. Make this game moddable and give it a Steam Workshop.
I can't imagine he won't.
Because this game is just fucking built for it.
The thing about how old this game is, like, I can't imagine the mechanics of it, like the nuts and bolts underneath it, are that hard to get into for modding.
It's Dwarf Fortress by Kit Fox Games, available on Steam, hopefully this year.
I mean, the original version has billions of add-ons. I mean, Jesus Christ, everybody has an add-on for that shit. There's so many of them. That's what all the graphics packs are. So I can't imagine them not doing add-ons.
Yeah, so I'm hoping for a release later this year. The article does say that there will be a Dwarf Fortress demo that will be shown off at PAX. So, but we've known for a while that this game is in a demo or an alpha stage where it is playable. It's just the Kit Fox has been delaying release for years. Complicated. It's a complicated game. There's a lot to it. Okay, so. Oh, slightly other good news slash whatever would be the Warframe. Warframe's first ever anime reveals its 50th Warframe. So there's a whole thing on YouTube that you can watch. It's a cartoon done in Japanese anime style, obviously not made in Japan, and it shows off Styanax, who is mighty and Herculean, and he's inspired by ancient Greek warriors apparently, and he uses a spear and a shield. So this got a lot of publicity this week. And the thing that is also demonstrated in this article, which I take issue with, is that Call 175, the fan favorite Grenier, is playing second fiddle to Styanax. Nobody cares about a fucking new Warframe. I don't care about that. I want to play more missions as Call 175. And we will be able to do that. Veilbreaker, which is supposed to be coming out, quote-unquote, soon, or soon.tm, as Digital Extremes usually puts it. Veilbreaker will bring back Call 175 as a playable character in a new quest that's set after the events of the new war. And he will also have a bunch of weekly missions that will enable players to increase Call's rank and earn new customization items. So, Call getting some love. I feel like he should be front and center in this update, and Styanax should be like, oh yeah, another Warframe. But I like Call.
It's a little annoying that they're just kind of doing Call like that. Like, you're just using his popularity to launch a new Warframe. God, I'm so tired of new Warframes.
Yeah, me too, kinda. Call, on the other hand, is fucking breath of fresh air. Because that's not a war. He can throw grenades. That was the one thing that really caught my attention when I played New War.
Yeah, I never quite understood how or why Vauban is the only person intelligent enough to know that you could hold a device and throw it at your enemies and have it do, like, useful and dangerous and, powerful things.
Yeah. That is true. Vauban's the only guy with balls. Juggling balls. Okay, and what else did I want to speed through before we get to the meat? Oh, okay. I'm done with Ubisoft. I am not playing an Ubisoft game again. I'm not giving them any more money. I've said this before. Despite that, I chose to do or pay attention or highlight an Ubisoft's game that's coming out called Skull and Bones, and it's a pirate. It's a pirate game. You're pirates and you play on the open seas, and it looks to be mainly PvP. I can't really speak to this. I don't know terrible much about the game, but what was hilarious to me is that Ubisoft is releasing a pirate game, and I don't know how much y'all remember about Assassin's Creed Black Flag when that came out, but in the real world portion of that game, when you're an employee working at Abstergo to create this game, there's a whole media presentation that you can find and watch, which details how the Assassin's Creed games have been super popular and everything, but, everyone's kind of tired about, the Renaissance and the Crusades and all the rest of that. So what's the next best thing, or the next big thing? And they say, pirates. Everybody loves pirates because you're anarchists and you're free and you're out on the seas and you have ships and you can shoot people and you can have, affairs with rich ladies, or you can slam wenches, or you can get drunk and you can steal boats and all the rest. Pirates. That's where the money is.
Why did I just hear a description of Barry, but on sea?
Because Barry, that's where the money is. Everybody wants to be Barry McCockner. It's fucking true.
I had to just insert that in there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But that's the thing. I immediately thought about the what was supposed to be a satirical marketing video inside of one of Ubisoft's last good games that wasn't glitched to fuck when it was released. And it made me laugh. It's jumped out of the game and now it's become a real thing. They're actually doing a pirate game because everybody loves pirates, right?
So, not to distract from the situation, Bungie kind of did the same thing.
Did they?
Yeah, this season for Destiny 2 is Season of the Plunder. And you're a pirate.
That sounds awful.
It's actually, I'm not gonna lie, it's quite.
Because everybody loves pirates.
I mean, no, but
Dude, do you have any Ram Ding Dongs?
I do not.
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Oh gosh. Yeah, anyway, I don't actually want to talk about this game at all. If you want to do PvP on the high seas, that's totally up to you. There's nothing wrong with it. Just expect the game to be broken when it comes out because it's Ubisoft.
Well, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like Ubisoft saw the success that the game Sea of Thieves was happening, and they're like, "Oh, we'll steal that. We'll take that idea." Because that's what that game is. It's a
4
PvP
years
pirates
later.
game.
I know, it's just so old at this point.
Well, but like, how many times have we seen it where a indie game of some sort comes out and cool concept, whatever, gets kind of popular, and then a while later, somebody else starts doing like. How long was it between PUBG and like when the first major mainstream studio did the first battle royale? Might not have been 4 years, but it was probably a couple of years.
Like 8 months between the height of PUBG's popularity and Apex. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm not talking the height. I'm saying like when it launched. Because
when
like
it launched, I'm not sure. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, that Sea of Thieves isn't popular anymore, but you get a major studio behind it, give it a good publicity push, people get excited for it.
It's true. There will always be copycats and always be spin-offs. And because of the way the gaming industry works, yeah, the spin-offs come from the major studios and the original ideas come from the indie studios.
Well, but here's the truly unfortunate thing is that the game made by the big studios a couple years later, based on the ideas created by the indie studios, are better games. They're oftentimes also filled with worse shit, like microtransactions and all that kind of horrible shit that's become the norm in big company, big publisher games nowadays. But their budgets are bigger. They just have more people, like much larger teams working on games. They're better at making games. It's not some scrappy group of upstarts trying to go their own way and create some cool vision they have. These are, professional game devs who can crank out higher quality stuff than, 10 guys in a rented office can do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. Yeah. So, just wanted to touch on that. Thought it was. I had a good chuckle. I had a good internal chuckle. And also, does anyone in the room like Harry Potter besides me?
Yes.
Masami, okay. We like Harry Potter, right? Good books, good movies.
Yep, terrible author, but good books and good movies.
Yeah, she's special. Hogwarts Legacy is a game that's coming out. If anybody hasn't heard about this, it will be released on PlayStation and it will be released on Steam. I think there are ads up for it on Steam at this point for pre-order. I want to just briefly say, yeah, I would definitely play a Harry Potter game. I'm not ashamed of it. I like it. I think it would be fun. But this article did come out, and it did make me kind of sad. The Hogwarts Legacy will have a PlayStation exclusive quest, as if it were still 2010. So they're going to have a PlayStation exclusive quest when this thing comes out. I thought that was kind of dumb. But moreover, what I wanted to focus on was let's see, it's a $300 collector's edition that you can buy, and it's $300 because it comes with an electromagnetic floating wand. I kind of like that. I'm just gonna say I kind of like that. So yeah, that's the Harry Potter game. More on that later when it actually comes out. We'll see how that does. So that's all on that for now, unless anybody wants to talk about Harry Potter more.
I have no opinion at all.
Oh, Harry
What's your
Potter.
house, Doc?
I do not care for Harry Potter.
I would probably be a Hufflepuff.
Yeah, you would.
Because of the reading and because of the research and the theory. I'm all about the theory. I don't want to be I don't want to be a Gryffindor. I don't want to go out and get shot at. That sounds dangerous. And I'm not a Slytherin because I'm not a piece of shit.
Fluffy has a great contribution to the discussion. He says, Hogwarts, more like hog farts.
Oh. Wait, is Fluffy actually listening? Oh, God. Okay, alright. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, so the cool stuff tonight was tech articles. First one I think that Omega posted, it has to do with Firefox and Chrome. And their tackling of a protocol, an extension standard, basically called Manifest v3, which is used by every single add-on or extension for Chrome and any Chromium-based browser. Manifest is a list of rules and protocols that can be used by any extension. And one of the things in the manifest is called web request. And web request can be used, it is a very powerful protocol, a very powerful tool that can be used. And it can be used for good or it can be used for evil, much like a hammer can be used to build a house or cave in someone's skull. So the controversy around this started up when Chrome, Google, announced that in their update of Manifest, they will be updating Manifest from version 2 to version 3, they will be eliminating basically the ability for any app to use web requests. And the reason is that web request monitors traffic between browser and source. So, as you can imagine, this can be used to intercept trackers and tell them not to track you. This can be used to intercept ads and say, we're not interested in viewing your ads. You can just keep those there. Never loads on your browser. You never waste the bandwidth or have to deal with the headache of advertisements. It can also theoretically be used to intercept things like passwords, bank account information, credit cards, all the rest of that. There is a danger to it. However, in the overwhelming majority of cases, and just about every single example that can be found on the Chromium App Store or the extension store is being used responsibly. And there is no danger to any privacy information. So that's where this starts. Anybody? Omega, do you want to add anything before we go on? Oh.
Sorry about that. Yeah, you pretty much covered it. But one thing that I find interesting about this story is that it's just slightly too nerdy for people to give a shit.
So, yeah.
But it's actually something that is kind of really significant in the grand scheme of things. You've got Safari squaring off with or not Safari. You've got Firefox squaring off with Chrome, and it's interesting. I was reading up about this earlier today, in fact, and people were making comments that like when Chrome came out, the goal was to disrupt Internet Explorer's monopoly, and Internet Explorer was both a shitty product and a product that was doing things Microsoft wanted to do that people didn't necessarily want to do. And Chrome came along and introduced real competition when Microsoft and IE was pretty heavily dominating the landscape. Now you've got Chrome and by extension Chromium-based browsers having something like 90% of the market share of internet browsers right now.
You know what? This is a high quality production that we've got going here, so why don't I bring up an animated infographic showing the most popular web browsers over the last 28 years. I'll just go ahead and put this on screen, and it can play while we talk. As you can see, yeah, Netscape dominated the market in the early 90s, and then Internet Explorer slowly came in, and exactly as you say, Omega, that basically dominated the market for a long time.
Yeah. So, Mozilla has always been the privacy company. Now, Chrome, their justification for this removing web requests is that it's a potential security issue. While web request specifically is used not by all ad blockers and not by all ad blocking methods, but certain methods require using web request. However, web request can also be used to do malicious shit. You can redirect links. You can, it's something that is, both a blessing and a curse. And if you approve an extension with that abuses web request, you are severely hampering. You're inviting the potential for a security breach. Let's say it that way. But on the flip side, Mozilla and Firefox are saying that, privacy is more important than, in this case, necessarily than what Google is claiming to be a security breach, with the fact that, using these ad blockers is, not only does it grant you privacy from tracking and everything else, but it also grants you security through that privacy. So it's just an interesting microcosm of a debate in the computer world that you don't really hear much about because, like I said, it's slightly too nerdy for the average person to give a shit about, even though it could significantly impact what we do.
Right, so I hope the infographic on the screen will impress some people, but I had not realized that as of March this year, Chrome was 80% of the global browser market. 80% of all internet users use the Chrome browser. This is obviously just leading towards how Google has decided to update Manifest to again get rid of this feature, and they're making it about security when in reality it's been around for a long time. I don't doubt that there are some very serious exploits that can be run through Manifest, but in order to do that you need to install a malicious extension. And Google has controls all over their app store to curtail malicious extensions and get them removed as fast as possible, or even make it impossible to publish them in the first place. So when I read this, I thought, why not? I mean, they're tackling the source. They're undercutting the ability to do this in the first place. That makes a certain sense to me. But when you take into account all the other things that web requests can do, is that really smart? Is that really the best way to go after that? Is just to remove this tool entirely? And Firefox obviously has come to the conclusion that no. Believe it or not, Firefox is one of the only browsers. I'll go back to here. Firefox is currently making up 5.3% of all internet users, which is a drop in the bucket compared to 80%. But Firefox is one of the only browsers on here, in Firefox and Safari, that do not use a Chromium foundation. They're not Chromium-based browsers. Microsoft Edge is a Chromium-based browser. Opera is a Chromium-based browser.
You know what's funny about that is that Edge, when it first came out, was not, but there was so much because basically they just fancied up and improved some of the Explorer code, but people basically soon called them out on their shit, and they finally basically traded over to a Chromium-based version just to shut people up. I know because at work they had there was a whole thing.
That somehow doesn't surprise me. But I didn't know that, and when I read that Edge was a Chromium-based browser, I was surprised, because as Omega said, Microsoft browsers used to dominate the market. Then Firefox came in, kicked Microsoft's ass, and then Chrome came in and became super popular around 2010, and kicked Firefox's ass. And now I think Chrome dominates more of the market than any browser, in terms of numbers of users, dominates the browser market more than any other browser ever has.
But again, it's also the fact that the majority of the quote-unquote competitors are based on Chromium.
Yes, and that is the other problem. Chrome's only real competitors at this point are Firefox and Safari, and fuck Safari, I don't care.
Well, the obvious question to be asking here is also the fact that one of the things, so far, the only thing that there has been any sort of public outcry over that is being disrupted by removing web requests is ad blockers. What is Google's primary business? Selling ads.
AdSense, Google AdSense.
So there is, a legitimate, perhaps, concern or a legitimate question there, at least, that this might be motivated simply by greed.
To me, there is absolutely a financial motivation for Google to be doing this. But Google has been quick to point out that there are people who are championing this change to manifest, including AdBlock Plus, one of the most popular ad blockers, which has come out in favor of MV3 changes. Though, as this article makes very clear, it's worth noting that the extension has a financial relationship with Google.
Yeah. Whereas uBlock Origin, which is what I use, which is what a lot of people... I won't say there's consensus, but a lot of people argue that, or believe that it's the best ad blocker out there. It's one of the ones that uses web request for certain mechanisms of ad blocking, and that's the one that I think most people would be most familiar with being against it. uBlock Origin is very popular.
Another one that's very popular that I use heavily is Ghostery, and Ghostery is less ad. It has ad features, but it's more focused on who is tracking you around the web, and it relies heavily on web. So if you get rid of this ability for Ghostery to, I forget how the person actually described this, but the developer went on and said that Ghostery practices... Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm never going to be able to find it in this article. Why can't I read faster?
Yes, you are insufficient as a human being.
I know. It's not
Ghostery. That seemed a bit extreme.
But it's fair. It's true. The Ghostery practices blocking on the fly, something to that extent, because whenever you load a web page, a bunch of trackers can come and can make a request basically, and Ghostery intercepts all of that through through the web app or web API and web request and says, no, you can't track this browser, or it just replaces whatever data would be sent to the tracker with something generic, so it's not actually a specific identifier that can be tracked back to you. So a lot of the analytical data that Google is making a lot of money off of just comes back as gibberish because it's not anyone's fucking business why I'm buying shoes at 2 a.m. or why I prefer loafers to shoelaces. Nobody's fucking business. So Ghostery has come out and said no, the migration to MV3 is going to be a bad thing. A bunch of ad blockers have come out and said similarly, the reason we're so fucking good, the reason why our services are so extensive is because we can responsibly use this technology. We can responsibly use web request, and the customer is going to suffer ultimately because of this.
I mean, that said, though, if there is legitimacy to the point that it can be used maliciously, end of the day, a person should be responsible for the extensions they put on their computer, but also people are stupid.
That is true. That's a longer conversation about how I think that trying to idiot-proof everything is a waste of time and ultimately harmful.
I ultimately agree with you.
Just do what the shaving cream companies did. Slap a fucking sign on it and call it a day.
Yes,
got a shield on me. Fluffy, if you want to come touch it.
I love the fucking labels on coffee that say warning, contents may be hot. Yeah, that really needs to be on coffee. And unfortunately it does, because somebody won a lawsuit at some point.
I should probably revive him before we click the shield.
Hey, Doc.
Yo.
Did I ever tell you I had a job smashing cans? It was so depressing.
Oh my god.
Did you smash cans with your cans? I've seen that on TV.
Oh, it was a pun.
You bought the book, didn't you?
Of course I bought the fucking book. Are you
sitting in front of your computer right now with the fucking pun book, just like flipping through pages looking for circumstances? I'm not opposed to it.
Yes, I'm sitting here with the pun book open. Jesus
Good
Christ.
Initiative. Really good fucking initiative.
Let's roll for initiative. Hang on. I've got dice. Finally, my moment has come.
Oh, gosh. So, yeah, anyway, I'll speak as one of the people who still uses Firefox. Every time in this podcast when I pull up an article, you're viewing the article in a Firefox window, and I continue to use Firefox because I know what Google's business is. I know why Chrome exists nowadays. I know all that, and sometimes I really don't have a problem with Google scooping up all the analytic data that I am more than willing to put into Chrome, because some things on Chrome work better. It's easier for me to access Gmail. It's easier for me to upload YouTube videos. But apart from those two things, I really don't use Chrome for anything. I use Firefox for it all. And I have no script on, I have Ghostery, I have AdBlock, I've got Malwarebytes running, and I've got a browser spoofer. So I feel like I'm doing my due diligence of telling people to fuck off. I don't want anything to do with your advertising.
I think the only thing... Are we good to close, by the way?
Yeah. Do you want this ring, Zero?
I've got one, actually. I'm good. Okay. You can break it down. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I don't have running on any of my browsers is something that allows me to block the ads that come through on Twitch. And that's simply because I have friends who rely on those ads, and they're going to get their 2 cents worth.
Yep.
So
I will say the majority of YouTube that I watch is on my phone, and my phone does not have ad blockers. I haven't ever sussed out really how to do that well.
They purposefully made it so you really can't do it well.
There was an app called YouTube Advanced, but Google
that got taken off.
Google recently just shut them down. So there are currently some people working on ways to revive or fork YouTube Advanced into something different that can get away with whatever they're trying to do, but unfortunately, that's dead.
I could be mistaken, but I think that the Android OS has a Linux kernel. I thought that they just originally started building off Linux and now it's their own thing. But yeah, it's much easier when you have a Linux structure on a device to protect certain things, make it impossible to do other certain things. That's not to say you can't jailbreak your phone and install whatever the fuck you want onto it. You definitely can. But not a lot of people are going to go through the hassle of doing that. They're just going to hear warranty voided and get scared off.
Yeah, because a lot of your major cell phone carriers nowadays are heavy on that fucking warranty.
Yep. Which, actually, I should say it doesn't... In my personal experience, I've never had to take my phone back to a phone store because I've had a problem with it. If there's a problem with that phone, I can pretty readily figure out what the fuck's wrong with it. So I've never had an issue where I had to call on a warranty for any phone that I've ever had. Which is why I have no qualms with jailbreaking whatsoever. Not that I do it, of course. I'm just speaking hypothetically.
Well, the eye cancer has officially hit stage 4.
There we go. Fluffy is really into those balls. Fluffy wants some balls. There you go, buddy. Good balls. But anyway, we're going to see how this comes out in the market because Mozilla's saying that we're going to keep this feature and all our ad blockers are going to continue to function, and Google's saying our web browser is more secure, you have better privacy, and most ad blockers won't work, but the one that's officially financially sponsored by us still will, so go check them out. This might be an opportunity, as the article says, for Firefox and potentially Safari to distinguish themselves in the market and maybe pump their share up a little bit.
I always thought Safari was just the Apple browser. Can you even get Safari on Windows?
Safari, yes, you can. There's a Safari browser for Windows. I don't know why the fuck you would ever want to use it, but you can.
Yes.
Yeah, why? What?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like when Apple tried to... See, here's the thing. Whenever Apple has tried to come out with their own software, which is virtually identical to a Windows piece of software, but it functions on Mac, the Windows software inevitably always wins. This is why Microsoft Office is available for Mac OS. The browser Safari and until recently iTunes were perhaps the only two examples of software created by Mac that your common everyday consumer would likely use on their PC as well. But iTunes is I think iTunes is down the drains now, and I have not heard about any PC-related iTunes news.
I honestly, I do use an iPhone, but that's simply because it works better with my family communications.
Yeah, let's not forget about all the texting and voice. What do I want to say here? FaceTime, basically, whatever that falls into. Let's not forget about all the proprietary software that Apple has that only works on Apple devices.
Yeah. So, but it's iTunes is a thing of the past. They don't even have iTunes on the phones anymore. It's the App Store, the Apple Store, and that's it.
How am I supposed to sync up my iPod with my iTunes library now?
Oh, God.
Well, that's the thing. iTunes basically just turned into your music library.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the iTunes Store kind of evolved into the Apple App Store.
It's Apple TV now.
And then, the it kind of just turned into a playlist on your phone.
Yeah, if you have, I remember the glorious period where the Apple Store was selling not only music but also TV shows, podcasts, and movies, and all of that seemed to transition over to Apple TV and Apple TV Plus for your subscription streaming service. And I don't know what happened to the music library at all. Honestly, I still have my whole fucking iTunes library, but it's all organized as iTunes organized it. But I use Winamp now, so. That's that. And the only other thing that I want to add is probably the reason that Firefox still has 5% of the market is because Linux comes standard. Every Linux distro comes standard with Firefox installed. It's the default browser for whatever you're running, Mint, SUSE, Debian, whatever. And it's a good browser. It's a good fucking browser. So yeah. If you're out there and you're watching this right now on Google Chrome, Leetness, if you're viewing the YouTube video in Google Chrome, give a thought to Firefox. You know, maybe pick them up and use their default homepage and maybe click on some of their sponsored links now and then. Throw them a couple pennies.
Honestly, I'm thinking about making the switch. I've been using uBlock Origin for years, and
it's solid.
Just giving what I know about this, if it's between sticking with Chrome and sticking with uBlock Origin, I'd rather stick with uBlock on this one.
Yeah, I would have a difficult time giving up Ghostery. I will say briefly, we talked about on the podcast how Ghostery got into some hot water about a year back because there are optional features in Ghostery to send back tracking and analytic data on your browser for Ghostery to use, quote unquote. And everyone was speculating, oh, they're harvesting your data and they're selling it, now they're an analytic company. Rabble. They're optional features. Fucking turn them off. If you turn them off, nothing gets sent to Ghostery. I pretty firmly dissected what Ghostery is sending out, and it's not anything personal. It's nothing to do with my browsing, actually. But yeah, you want to keep uBlock Origin, I want to keep Ghostery. That's that. So we'll see how this goes. This will probably definitely be something that we come back to and that we hear about again.
Yeah, once the time comes and the change is getting more immediate, I think more people will start taking notice.
Alrighty, so that's that. And the next piece of lulls is getting back into the meta, Facebook's meta, or metaverse, Meta's metaverse. Meta? Yeah, alright. A key leader for Meta's metaverse software is leaving the company. Vice President of Meta's Horizon Social Media virtual reality software, Vivek Sharma, is leaving the company, a spokesperson said Friday. And he has been with Facebook parent Meta for the past 6 years, holding a high-ranking position in marketplace and gaming, and most recently, its metaverse-related business unit. So he's VP of Horizon, and he's leaving a week after the metaverse was announced. He's like, okay, good times, later.
Yeah, I find it pretty hilarious. Just the fact that it is happening amidst all of the, everybody just fucking ragging on Meta and just how much bad press they've had. Even though, like, most of the bad press, like, some of the bad press is pretty serious. Like, they haven't, they've dumped, like, $10 billion into it or some ridiculous shit like that. But most of the bad press has just been, like, pretty inconsequential shit. Making fun of Mark Zuckerberg and shit like that. And, now the guy who is pretty much in charge of it is getting the boot.
I will say that...
he's leaving. He's not getting the boot. Yep. He's, like, abandoning ship, I should say.
I'll just say that thanks to CNBC's little plugins on articles, I can tell you that Facebook's or Meta's stock has not suffered because of this. And apparently somebody out there is really gung-ho about Horizon World, even given all the... I'm not going to call it backlash, I'm going to call it backwash. Even all the backwash resulting from Horizon World.
That's just gross sounding.
That's what it makes me think of. I also thought it was funny in this article, I didn't realize that Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg was in a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah, that's where a lot of that's one of the reasons why he's been in the news lately. Is there's been a fresh fodder for quotes to write articles about.
He really fuckered himself up in that whole fucking podcast. He just kind of he set the conspiracy train a rolling.
I don't like Joe Rogan anymore, and I have never really liked Mark Zuckerberg. There's nothing to like, really, and they're two particular brands of crazy together seem like good viewing. Frustrating viewing, maybe, but...
I watched a little bit of it just to kind of get some giggles, but I love the one where everybody is now screaming that Facebook had everything to do with the 2016 election. My God, they stir my erection.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was that one thing.
Yep. It made me giggle ever so slightly. And by giggle ever so slightly, I mean I almost fell the fuck out of my chair. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah. So, this is, again, somebody out there, maybe it's not actual people, maybe it's just other companies are very excited for Horizon World, and one thing is for damn sure, after $10 billion, it's coming. It's gonna be a thing. They are gonna revamp graphics any way that they need to, they are gonna push marketing however they have to, and they're gonna hire whoever the fuck they need to push this thing out and make that money back. So, just buckle in, buckaroos.
That's really the unfortunate thing, is that, like, no matter how much garbage it is, and no matter how much people are making fun of it right now, Facebook has so much fucking money.
Yeah.
They'll just force it to be a thing, and it'll happen.
I
read another article, they're releasing a new Oculus, like a new VR headset soon, so...
They are, yeah. That's another thing Zuckerberg was on the Joe Rogan podcast for, was to announce the launch of the new headset, and that will supposedly coincide with the launch of the open world for Horizon. Did you see the meme comparing Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon New Worlds, making it like sequels, but the graphics just slowly devolve?
Yeah, I shared that in the chat a couple of days back.
Thank you. Yeah, good meme. Christ. So yeah, who's gonna buy a VR headset? Who wants to be part of the giant metaverse world?
I will buy it if Leetness pays for it.
I will buy it if there's an avatar and I can make myself into a giant Monty Python foot.
I mean, you can already do that in VR chat. You can make yourself anything you fucking want in VR chat. I will one day undoubtedly get a VR headset. I will not one day be participating in the metaverse.
I have a VR headset. I have... Actually, I think I put it back in the box so it wouldn't get dusty. Yeah, okay, I did. It's a VR headset, and the reason it's one from probably 3 years ago. And the reason that I have it, and the reason that I keep it, and that I did like it for a while, is because if you want to watch a movie and you want to feel like you are in a movie theater, watch a movie on a VR headset. It is like staring at a massive fucking movie screen. Little disorienting because the movie screen moves whenever you move your head, but apart from that, You want to watch the original Star Wars, you want to watch Star Wars Episode 4, the one that wasn't digitally remastered, and you want to feel like you're watching it on a big screen, it's great. But that's the only thing that I ever enjoyed doing on a VR headset. I have no interest in going to VR chat and interacting with people who have anime avatars.
Anime babies.
Yeah, with giant anime. Well, yeah, but they're cartoon. Yeah, you're right. That's worthless. Masturbate to cartoons. Go listen to that song on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and type in "masturbate to cartoons" song. It's great. All right. That's that. And the last thing that I stuck in here because I'm super pumped for it is Daniel Radcliffe in the new trailer for Weird, the Al Yankovic Story. There's a movie coming out.
I saw the trailer today, and I am hyped.
The thing is that Daniel Radcliffe looks a lot like young Weird Al. A lot.
It is quite creepy.
You know what's fucking crazy? Look at Weird Al's resume. Dude's got dozens of Grammy nominations, more than a couple wins. He's had chart-topping songs in 4 different decades and shit. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame refuses to put him in. What kind of bullshit is that?
That is a load.
What kind of bullshit is that? I just learned that today, in fact.
Is it because he's a parody artist?
I mean,
is the only reason they can think of?
That's got to be it. Feels aspiring.
Yep. Done. Yeah, no, I mean, I've actually got to see him live. He came to Roanoke, and he's been here a couple times. I didn't see him this last time. But he is fucking hilarious, and his shows are a fucking workout. That man is everywhere.
He is, yeah. He's a performance artist. He is he probably gained a lot of reputation in our generation in the 90s when he was doing his parody songs. That's how I first heard of Weird Al Yankovic. That's why I started to pay attention to him. But besides that, if I could recommend a movie for everyone, I just pulled it up on IMDb. UHF, which stands for Ultra High Frequency, was a movie that came out. It's on here, 1989. UHF used to be what TV stations broadcast on, Ultra High Frequency, that just went out, and it's a movie about how he becomes manager of a local TV station. And it's got a 6.9 on IMDb. It deserves at least an 8. This is a fucking amazing movie. And this is not the only thing that, he's done. Obviously, his IMDb profile is very, very extensive. So he's into music, he's into acting, he's into comedy. He did a bunch of episodes of Tim and Eric Awesome Show. He was Uncle Muscles. And he's been on, Jesus Christ, he's been on fucking everything. So yeah, very, very talented man, and I'm looking forward to the movie that's coming out because he deserves a little bit of autobiographical attention.
Isn't it on Roku, on the Roku channel or something? It's like a Roku exclusive.
It is, yeah. It's a Roku original. So if you have Roku, however that works, you can definitely watch that. Otherwise, you know where to go. And lots of others, lots of scenes in there. I was talking. The reason I say lots of scenes in there, I was talking with Omega a couple days ago, last week or something, about a whole bunch of shit, and Westworld came up, and I was talking about how much I hate Dolores. Evan Rachel Wood is in this movie. She plays Madonna, so I'm looking forward to that. I don't dislike Evan Rachel Wood. I dislike the character Dolores. I just want to make that distinction.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this looks like a fun movie, so I'm giving it a plug. Daniel Radcliffe, follow us on Twitter.
I'm not doing. Oh, I came to spin shards. Okay. Yeah, no. It like I said, the trailer popped today, and I watched the trailer, and it was actually really good. So.
Yeah. So yeah, wait for Weird, the Al Yankovic story to come out, and while you're waiting, watch UHF. Alright.
UHF is pretty fantastic.
Yeah. UHS, it's in that golden movie range. About the same time. 1989. That's about the same time as Captain Ron, isn't it? Yeah, 1992. In the golden age of movie making. Oh well. So yeah, that's about it. How's everybody's weekend went? How did everybody's weekend go? If I can speak English.
English is hard.
English is hard.
It's pretty alright. Nothing too fancy.
A lot of time spent playing Diablo 3. I think the season started up on Friday, right?
Yeah, Friday evening.
And you're already Paragon 1000, whatever, no, 600 something.
$6.99. But like, it's not even that much. You get so powerful now that you end up being able to do content that doing the content gives you like, oh, I just got 12 levels from a single GR. Like, I spent 5 minutes in a Greater Rift and now I'm, jumping up like crazy. So, in the fine tradition of Diablo 3 extreme power creep, that's just what the way the game plays nowadays. Actually, let's see. What's the leaderboards look like? Whatever the top Paragon is. $1,221. That's on track. That's the build that Deleteness is doing.
Yeah, one of the another wonderful thing that happened at the launch of D3 was that Fluffy actually came into voice. It's that time of year.
It was pretty amazing. Well, it lasted.
Now he's hiding from us again.
He is. But I'm psyched that he's playing with you guys while the podcast is happening. That's
yeah.
I don't think we were expecting this.
Now he's acting out like a little child because we're not playing. We've been talking, and so he's just spamming meteors in town.
Spamming eye cancer in town.
Balls.
Very big brain balls.
Oh, wait a minute.
I would put my penis in it.
No, that's not the way.
There it is.
Trying to fucking tell me I'm wrong when I'm fucking right.
That's not it either.
Fluffy says he likes watching. Fluffy says he likes watching his balls on TV.
He's got nice balls. Whenever Fluffy learns out how to clip audio, that's when I'm going to be in a lot of trouble.
Indeed.
He's got the time to sit down and assemble an entire conversation with DrNiggle that I never had, that I was never a part of.
What do you mean I owe you $1 million?
Why
Damn you, Fluffy.
why try to script what I should be saying when you can cut out the middleman entirely? Just clip all my audio together.
Got killed by a fatty.
Why
Got killed by a fatty because I couldn't see it in Fluffy's eye cancer.
Why is Doc admitting to sleeping with Thai ladyboys? What's going on here? Hang on a second.
Oh, that wasn't me. That was Rod. More power to him.
Oh god, now that I've put that out there in the universe, he can clip me saying that. Shit.
With voice synthesizers nowadays, it doesn't matter what you actually say. You can just take enough time of someone's voice, and believe me, with this podcast, there's more than enough time of all of our voices on there that somebody could just take it all, program a voice generator or a voice synthesizer, and next thing you know,
We've all slept with Thai ladyboys. Oh crap!
Just take a standard podcast and replace everything that I say with me saying the hard R N word.
Oh god!
That's completely digitally possible.
A0.
Oh god!
Oh, here it comes.
Yes, Masami.
I went to the bank and asked the teller to check my balance. She shoved me, but I didn't fall down.
You know what? I appreciate that one. That was a pretty good one. I like it. I rate it a solid. I rate it a solid wrist inside the asshole.
That's pretty. Wrist. All right.
Wrist deep.
Elbow is how you know
Because
you're
I am
impressed.
a bitch. Yeah, because I am a bitch.
Want to hear a construction joke? I'm still working on it.
Oh god. This is like Mr. Bones' wild ride. The ride never ends.
The rest of this podcast is watching Omega play D3 while Masami does buttons. Oh, that's great. Whatever, we can actually call it here. Everyone knows what's going to happen. Is there's going to be things are going to get punny, real punny after the podcast ends. We need to start doing post shows again.
We really do. Doc, you get some of your best material from the post show.
We need to start doing post shows and streaming them where nobody knows where to look.
Pornhub. I keep telling you guys Pornhub, but nobody listens to me.
I actually need to start putting more of our episodes onto Pornhub. You're right.
We could start streaming to Chatterbait. I'm just saying.
That's true. Hey, yeah, no, we totally could. All we need is your webcam, and you just put your feet up, aim your webcam at your feet. We'll do the podcast while we just stare at feet.
There you go.
Let's all get webcams, and let's all do feet. Instead of our faces, it'll just be our feet, and that'll be on Chatterbait.
And we'll draw little smiley faces on our feet.
We can have foot decorations.
And you know, the more people pay, the weirder the decorations get.
I would paint each one of my toes and give them hats so they look like characters from Harry Potter, and then we could have talked about the Harry Potter game more.
That's a good way to get that project off on the right foot.
Thank you, Masami!
That's a 3-pointer!
Oh, that's great. My big toe would be Hagrid. And my little toe, my little toe would probably have to be Luna Lovegood, but I'd want one of them to be, Professor McGonagall.
I wonder if that woman on Facebook would join or on TikTok would join our Facebook, or our streams. The woman on TikTok who sounds like McGonagall, and it's fucking hilarious because she says wild, wacky shit.
Oh, yeah, that chick. I love her.
I love her.
I gotta go look her up then.
Oh, yeah, she's
This is the thing that is relevant to my interests.
McGonagall swearing is the funniest fucking thing I have ever heard in my life.
If you want to hear Maggie Smith swearing, you just got to go back to some of the movies that she did in the 80s. Maggie Smith is a treasure. Okay. Anyway. More ideas to be discussed in the post show. Thank you everybody for coming along and joining us in time to next week. And keep an eye out on Chatterbait for us. We'll be doing a foot stream at some time in the near future. Until then, penis, fuck Putin.
Fuck Putin.
Fuck him. And play more Diablo. But fuck Putin.